All right, how's it, everybody? Oh no, I already have started off on the wrong technological foot. Forgot to mute my mic, or not mute my mic, mute my speakers. Sorry for that dual audio there for a second, guys. So hey, good to see you all, and yeah, I am. Looks like Terry Gilmore is going to miss today's show because she's going to be out having lunch with the mainland friend. But it looks like Elaine and Casey are hanging out. Poppy Shaney's here. Excelente. Good to see you guys hanging here for Chatter with Statter this Sunday afternoon, 4:30 p.m. as you know on the West Coast, 1:30 on Hawaii time, and let's see here, 7:30 for those East Coast peeps, around about midnight 30 for the UK. Today's going to be a little bit of a lazy Sunday. We're going to talk a lot about things that we did and things that we did before and other things we used to talk about. Things like, well, gosh, Poppy Shaney, how did you know? Things like beef stew. Hey, Yamamoto-san, good to see you stopping by. Yeah, for all of those who didn't catch the update a few weeks ago or whenever it was, we had a whole chat on what to do with pot roast, and I took your guys' advice. I made my pot roast. I think I didn't use enough water, but because it was all soaked in by the time the pot roast was done. But the pot roast was super moist, and I'm gonna be hitting you guys up for some more recipes because clearly you stewed me in the right direction. I meant to say steered, but I guess maybe I didn't. All right then, there you go. Um, yeah, and then, oh, hey, Carl in Arkansas. Good to see you. Excellent. Poppy Shaney is already on top of things. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoy seeing where the chatter scatters here at the Statter Box. I hope that you all do hit the like button and hit that subscribe and notification bell. I'd be super stoked for that as well. Very happy that you guys could come along for the ride. I don't know how many of you were here last night for the Twitch stream side of things for Statterbox at the cinema. As per the usual Statterbox at the cinema situation thing, whatever we want to call it, I don't even know. The technical menehunes were everywhere. But the funny part is, it wasn't technical menehunes. It was literally the most basic thing. And a couple of people suggested this, but I didn't. I didn't do it until after the stream. So after the stream, as promised, I went to investigate the root of the Goonies problem. The root of the Goonies problem was the DVD was dirty. Once I wiped it clean, it played no problem. Before I wiped it clean, right after the stream, I put it in, and boom, right in that same area, it would stop. It just would get completely confused. It didn't know what to do. I have a feeling, I don't really know what I'm talking about here, but I'm wondering if the smudge, the dirt, even like screwed up the audio tracking when I tried to download it before. And well, we're not going to get into what I'm beginning to wonder with that. Either way, once I cleaned the DVD, the movie was just fine and dandy. But you know what? I'm going to tell you guys right now, I cannot thank you enough for hanging out last night. And A, just being the troopers that you are, but B, also coming up with that actionable solution, which is, why don't you try another DVD? Because my brain was spinning in a completely different direction, and I really did need some, like, grounded reality checking there. And it turns out, honestly, I think we ended up with a better movie. Bewitched was a cute movie, and I guess because maybe nobody had any expectations for what it was all about, it couldn't help but be better than what you expected, because you didn't really expect anything, right? Maybe? I don't know. Super cute movie. I watched Goonies after the stream and I was like, this movie seems like it's really made for kids because there's a lot of plot holes and I have a lot of questions. Whereas the Bewitched movie did not leave me nearly as disappointed. We will watch Goonies and we will probably, or I will at least, be chatting about, like, now wait a second, how did this happen again? And why are they doing this? Or whatever. But yeah, that was the resolution for the technical menehunes that were ambushing us last night. It wasn't menehunes at all. It was just truly a dirty disc. So silly. I mean, it's just ridiculous that As I said, it was the one that was in the sealed. I mean, I know people tell me that you can reseal the things, and clearly that's what happened. It didn't occur to me that the disc would be dirty. And so I am super thankful that someone, I can't remember if it was Rick or if it was Darlene or if it was a bunch of folks who said, try a different disc because that was the saving grace of the evening. And I got a couple of email messages after the show saying, wow, you really pulled off a good save. And it's like, you know what? I might have been the one who, like, I don't know, caught the ball and put that runner out, but I'm not the one who threw the ball for me to catch. Like, I would not have saved that stream if it weren't for you guys. I was quite literally on the verge of saying, you know what, we're done here tonight. Because after last week's technical nightmare, I just didn't have the patience for it. So, I was on the verge of being a very spoiled brat last night, and you guys A, witnessed it, and B, reeled me right back in, so I cannot thank you enough. It looks like we got a couple more people have slid in medium 7 up, so good to see you. Let's see here. Andre, good to see you. And yeah, the movie was good because it worked and we had great company as always. Yeah, well, and the movie was good, I think, because it worked. At least for me, it was just like, oh my God, this movie keeps playing and it's playing and the audio is in track and everything's wonderful. So yeah, it was a beautiful. In fact, Bewitched might be my new favorite movie just for reasons other than cinematic, shall we say. Ah, yes. All right, Darlene. Yeah, good to see you. Darlene, the superhero from last evening, I believe. My Lord, I really couldn't have pulled off the movie last night if it weren't for you guys. I mean, seriously. Andre, it was techno orcas. Hey, we're going to talk about that because I made a mistake about that before. But hey, before we get started with the show, I got to chattering before I did this. So welcome to Chatter with Statter. We're going to do a little quick intro and then I'll be right back. Alrighty, I am back. Yes. So let's see here. It looks like all right, so the Sharks won last night. Fantastic. So we are going upwards here. All right, so Shock is here, and I think Shock-a-Lock is cold because she's in West Virginia with a fireplace that has no chimney, which last I checked, that's a problem. Just saying. And it looks like PhotoLuke is here. Thank you so much for swinging by, PhotoLuke. Be sure to check PhotoLuke out both on YouTube and on Twitch. I believe, let's see here, on Twitch Saturday mornings, he's on YouTube around 9 a.m. on the West Coast. And I think he's on Twitch around 8 a.m. on the West Coast, which is 5 a.m. for Hawaii time. Oh my goodness. And it looks like PhotoLuke's afternoons and week schedules are currently in flux. So I'm not so sure I'm going to tell you when PhotoLuke is going to be on the streaming because I'm not so sure that if I tell you what I tell you, it's going to be true. But what I can tell you is go to PhotoLukeHawaii, either on Twitch or on YouTube, subscribe or join or whatever it is. It's free. Follow, get the notification bell, and you will have supremely awesome shows featuring featuring mostly, well, actually, PhotoLuke has a lot of different stuff. He's got traveled stuff in Japan, but the stuff that I particularly enjoy, of course, is his eye-level view of Honolulu and Hawaii, the Oahu Island. Although some islands he's got other Hawaiian islands too, but mostly Oahu because that's where he lives. We're talking street-level views, car holos, grocery shopping, everything. You will, if you want to know what is going on in Hawaii, PhotoLuke Hawaii is where you want to check out. Let's see here. Who else has come in? It looks like Mariana is in. I'm a little bit behind on the chat, you guys. Sorry if I am missing you out. And let's see here. Oh, I didn't see Michael Anthony Smith pop. Oh, here we go. Hey, Michael Anthony Smith. Good to see you. Mariana, it's 70 degrees right now and you love it. Yeah, 70 degrees is quite lovely no matter where you are, I think. Although I will admit, after that week that we had, the unusual week that we had in Washington, where we had like 118 degree weather or whatever the flying fork it was, when it went back down to 70, I got cold. I mean, like, what is that? I've never had that happen before in my life. But now suddenly I can understand like why those crazy people who live in the desert, set their air conditioning at 80 because 70 is too cold. So, yeah. Um, whoops. Okay, so shock. The fireplace is okay. The wood stove is not okay. Okay, well, I don't know, shock. I mean, it's half of six of one, half a dozen of the other, right? I mean, the wood stove is what puts out the heat. The fireplace is just for pretty looks, right? I mean, at least you have the fireplace. At least you have the fireplace. So yeah. Um, Oh, Darlene, stuffed peppers for supper. That sounds so good. I went on a stuffed I love stuffed peppers. I went on a stuffed pepper kick because I was thinking to myself, well, that's like the perfect meal. They freeze well, you can have them on hand, blah blah blah. Well, after about a month worth of my roasted stuffed pepper kicks, I realized that oh, yeah, cooked bell peppers. hmm They do not agree with my tummy, and I have never had heartburn so heartburny as the stupid sweet bell pepper. When they're raw, it's fine, but cooked, oh, and honestly, it really sucks because I love roasted red pepper. Can't do it anymore. Cannot do it anymore. It's awful. Yeah. Andre, you've got it. Absolutely. A photo Luke is the human Google Street View of Hawaii, 100%. Oh, hey, Pulani Loco, 609 Local. Good to see you. Thank you so much for swinging in. You know what? I need to make sure that I do something I have forgotten to do for many streams now. So I'm going to get myself organized. But before that, we're going to watch a Lono video. Alrighty, there we go. And speaking of Lono, let's get some of his tunes going on in the background. Fantastic. All right. So there we go. Yes. Kenny, I agree. I'm sure Lono has a vault of killer jams we've not heard of, not heard a lot of yet. He, he's been a musician for all of his life, and I can only assume there are lots of recordings that, I know there are lots of recordings that he's not releasing on albums, because there's a couple songs that I have in my little vault that, the echo is, hold on. Okay, let me figure out why we've got the echo. Hold on. Am I gonna have to not do that? Oh no. Let's see here. We've got technical menehunes, I think. So, all right, hold on. I gotta check my own feed. So, oh yes, we do have an echo. Oh no. Let's see here. Okay. I think maybe I stopped the echo, but it's gonna take a minute to figure this out. So, okay. I know what happened. Fantastic. Thank you so much for the heads up. I know what I did. Or rather what I didn't do and what I should have done. And then I went and did it. So, all right then. Whew. See, I can't do this show without you guys. Clearly, I cannot do this show without y'all. So, yeah, no, Pulani, this one is not on Twitch. Andy's doing the multi-streaming. I have no idea how to do multi-streaming. I don't think I have the technology to do multi-streaming because I am, a cheapskate and I don't pay for my streaming software. If I paid for Streamlabs, I think Streamlabs would let me stream multiple platforms, but I'm just using the free version because I'm a miser, and so I can only stream on one platform at a time. So yeah, that's the situation right now. However, speaking of Twitch, thanks Pulani, what a great little segue. Speaking of Twitch, now that my tax deadline, October 15th, has been passed, my work life is a little less worky, and I am planning on doing some pop-up Twitch streams. What time? I don't know. What days? Let's find out. They won't be on. We're still going to be sticking to the Tuesday or the Thursdays and Sundays on YouTube, but pretty much every other day and time is up in the air. Well, no, that's not true. We're also going to still be doing Statterbox at the cinema on Saturdays, but other than those usual times, I'm going to be doing some Twitch pop-up streams. And eventually, as I've mentioned, we're going to move this show over to Twitch. Right now, I'm just going to be doing a lot of sort of, the pop-up sessions are going to be a lot of sort of black hat sessions, as Andy calls them. I'm going to be trying to learn things and stuff. So you'll be the guinea pigs, as you've been from the beginning. And like I said, I'm not sure what time, but if you are following me on Twitch and you have the little bell notification clicked or whatever Twitch's interface is, you should be able to find out when I go live. I'm hoping to do something on Monday. I think Monday's tomorrow because I have the day off of work on Monday. So in theory, maybe, but I'm not going to promise anything because Friday was the tax deadline season finale, as it were, and frankly, this whole weekend has just been sort of nothing but relaxation and sleepies. That's why my hair is like all flat and floofy, which actually that makes no sense, but there's no product in my hair. I haven't barely combed my hair today. It is just lazy. Yes, so, excuse me, sorry about that. All right, so it looks like we've got some NHL talk going here. Hey, Puppy Shaney, do you know the Winnipeg NHL team is named the Jets? because I don't think of a jet when I think of Winnipeg. No, I don't either. When I think of Winnipeg, I think of flat. I think when I think of Winnipeg, I think of the tallest point in town being like a hill of elevation 3 feet or something. Good Lord. Yeah. Um, okay, Andre, miser is when you're rich and do not like spending money. If you've been poor, it's not called being a miser, it's called being careful. Okay, well then, well then, Andre, let me clarify and let me correct myself. I'm being extraordinarily careful. Yes, because let me tell you, I am not rich, not by any standards, especially not by Seattle standards. I don't even know what the median King County income is, but I don't even hit that. It's embarrassing actually how much money you're expected to earn to live where I grew up now. It's just ridiculous. So yeah. All right, I'm not a miser. I'm just very careful. Very careful. Yes. So, all right, Photo Luke. Yeah, you've remembered to like and like the little button and everything. Perfect. I love that. Thank you so much, Photo Luke. If you haven't hit the like button or the dislike button, feel free to hit either. I prefer the like, but apparently YouTube doesn't really think it matters. So hit whatever button you want. And let's see, what else are we going to talk about today? I had things like kind of semi-planned. Oh, I remember what we were going to talk about. Okay, so no, not yesterday, Thursday, we were talking about the local Darlene, yes, what they say is frugal. Yes, precisely. I am very, very frugal. Yeah, they know me at the local Goodwill in St. Vincent de Paul. Let's just put it that way. Um, so Okay, so speaking of logos, so Poppy Shaney responding to Andre, they are named after the original team from '72. I believe they were originally Jets after a mining term or something like that, if I recall correctly. Oh, okay, that makes way more sense. But now their logo has a jet in it. So Michael Anthony Smith, great movie last night. I agree. It was a really cute movie. I mean, as I said earlier, I guess because I had no expectations and perhaps even like negative expectations in the sense that Will Ferrell's not my favorite actor. I don't dislike him, but he's certainly not like some people love him. I'm just like, meh. And Nicole Kidman also, meh. But together, that movie, it was a really cute movie. If you guys haven't seen Bewitched, and you literally, I mean, it is brain candy. If you want to have nothing to think about and you just want visual fluff going into your brain and just wasting time with happiness, not that wasting time with happiness is a waste of time, but you know what I'm talking about. It's not a movie for great thinkers. Let's just put it that way. Okay. It's not. But gosh darn it. It was a cute movie. I really recommend Bewitched, strangely enough. So, yeah, so let's see here. Um, oh, okay. Okay, cool. Shock. Mad Statter, she's saying, Shock says to me, Mad Statter, I was thinking of running a movie tomorrow because the college is out and no karate. Oh, that would be great because, you mentioned that you were thinking about doing a movie last Friday. And even though I was at work and I was working hard, but I was also kind of doing a tedious desk thing that I could have had a movie on in the background. I kept going back to Twitch to see if you were streaming a movie like you said you might. So I am 100% stoked if you want to stream a movie tomorrow. For sure. Like, yeah, let us well, we'll know because I'm subscribed or whatever to your Twitch stream. But yeah, for sure. I think it'd be a great idea. I think it would be a great idea. Kenny, yeah, you'd never heard of that movie before. It was a pleasant surprise. Yeah, I don't think, I'm not sure when it came out. It's not that old of a movie, obviously. I think it did come out before the COVID weirdness that shut everything down, but it also might have been one of those movies that kind of just disappeared because we weren't allowed to go to the movies anymore. Speaking of movies that kind of disappeared because we weren't allowed to go to the movies anymore, there's this one movie I don't know if it's on Netflix or if it's on Hulu. So I'm not going to tell you. It's either on Netflix or Hulu. I know that because those are the only two things I subscribe to. And it's called Vacation Friends. And it's got John Cena in it. And honestly, I don't really care for John Cena. He's, whatever, meh. I mean, you guys know how I feel about movies, right? It's like, whatever. Vacation Friends. If you can watch Vacation Friends, it's a really funny movie. And it's actually like a really it's got a nice little message too, but it's it's an adult movie. I mean, I think it's rated R, and for a reason. At the same time, it does have a nice little wholesome message in it. But if you can see Vacation Friends, and I can't remember who else is in it. John Cena, though, is remarkable. John Cena is a funny guy. Like, I didn't realize his comedic timing. John Cena is funny. And so I'm like, after seeing this movie, I was like, well, I'm kind of a bigger fan of John Cena than I knew. So Vacation Friends, you really should watch it. So let's see here. Okay, so Shock, it looks like tomorrow you're thinking 3 p.m. Hawaii, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. East Coast time for the movie stream. Perfect. Excellent. Yeah. If y'all want to catch a movie, I'm not sure what movie it'll be. Perhaps Shock will figure that out and let us know before the stream is over. Okay, is it Cedric the Entertainer? See, I was thinking it was, I don't think it's Cedric the Entertainer. I thought it was that guy, Hannibal Buress, I thought it was. I thought it was the comedian that got famous because he outed Bill Cosby as a rapist. But oh, crumb, that's a word that's actually forbidden on YouTube. So yeah, I might have to bleep that one out. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, I want to say it was Hannibal Buress, but I truly can't remember. I truly cannot remember. But basically, it's about a black couple and a white couple. I can tell you that much. And obviously, John Cena was part of the white couple. And it is a super hysterical film. So yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, good, good. Shock says that she's going to run The President's Analyst, which was actually the movie I was hoping that she would say, because I had never heard of it before. And when she mentioned it before, it was just like, there's nothing about this movie that, like, what? And then when I read what it was about, it was like, oh, that's funny. Because see, when you said The President's Analyst, Shock, I'm thinking like, foreign policy analyst or whatever. It didn't cross my mind that you meant his shrink. It didn't cross my mind that it was his psychiatrist that you were talking about. And so suddenly that like frames the concept in a completely different light. And I am very much looking forward to seeing that movie. So, oh, hey, Chris, good to see you. It sounds like you're in Alabama. Good to know. Good to know. I'm not sure where you'll be this Thursday, but I hope you'll be able to swing on by. It seems like wherever you're at, you're able to tune in, which is super awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with the Statterbox crew. And let's see here. Medium 7 Up. Yeah, John Cena is hilarious. I mean, yeah, there we go. Let's see. So Kenny Casey says, by the way, Statterbox crew, my video library is open to all y'all for checkouts. Looking for a certain title, let me know. If I've got it, I'll share. That is so sweet of you, Kenny. Yeah. Kenny and Tom Greek are two of our biggest movie thank youers. I haven't shown anything that Kenny has gotten to me yet, but it was thanks to Tom Greek that we were able to have Whip It and that other movie right before Whip It, whose name escapes me, but he hooked me up with a couple movies, and then Kenny's hooking us up with 7 movies. So yeah, we are absolutely in good hands when it comes to that. So now that I've figured out how to screen share my thing, even if the DVD download doesn't work, and it occurs to me, it also taught me an important lesson of just physical maintenance and rubbing the DVD maybe before you try and play it. Yeah, what do you know? So, Puolani, have you seen Vacation Friends? I know it's a good movie. Everybody should watch it. It really is. It's funny. You know, one of my, okay, so and I think this isn't really much of a spoiler because I think it's actually in the trailer for the movie, but basically like John Cena and whoever his wife is in that movie, or girlfriend, whatever, his partner, they're this crazy white couple and they meet this way uptight black couple in Mexico. And the black dude is saying to his wife, the reason why I'm saying the black dude is because I can't remember his character's name or the actor's name. But he's saying to his wife, he's freaking out over this crazy flippin' cracker couple over here. And he's just like, look, these are the only people I know who have smuggled drugs into Mexico. And that basically, yeah, frames it quite well. So, yeah, it's really hysterical. And it was, I mean, they had a good time with the drugs. So, um, uh, oh, Andre, Hannibal Buress is not in Vacation Friends. It's some other guy named Lil something. Oh, see? Boy, wow. I had no idea. All right, well, that's embarrassing, but all right then. Oh no. Well, Darlene, hey, I'm sorry your stream isn't working. It sounds like Milwaukee's internet needs to have the whip cracked and they need to get into shape here. So yeah, log back in and out. And if it doesn't work, we will see you next time when it works better. So let's see here. Gosh, I really. Oh, Andre, you were an illegal alien in Mexico as a kid? Well, there's a lot of illegal aliens in Mexico, actually. From my understanding, there's just as many illegal expats in Mexico as there are illegal immigrants from Mexico in the US. So, I mean, it's not like it doesn't go both ways. I mean, shoot, you overstay your visa. Suddenly you're no longer a legal semi-resident, Oh, it was only for a weekend that you were an illegal that you were illegally in Mexico. That's funny. That's funny. So hey, yeah, well, Poulani's checking out with Kenny Casey, whether or not he's got Frisco Kid. I wanted to talk to you guys about what we talked about last week. Tried to do this before and then I got scattered. So last Thursday we were talking about the local baseball team that had the logo contest. So okay, I totally got one of the names wrong. And the name, I was calling them the Seal Swingers because you swing a bat, right? No, that is not the name. The name is actually even more gruesome. It is the Seal Slingers, which I did say a couple times because it does fall off the mouth easier. But then I corrected myself because I thought it was the Swingers. But no. So these are the two teams' logos that we are fighting over or voting over, I guess. Actually, well, voting, fighting, it all depends on what online blog you read, huh? So we've got the Dubsy Fishsticks with the obvious fish stick as the logo or as the mascot, and then the French fry as the bat. He's a left-handed batter and he wears his baseball cap backwards. That is the homage to Ken Griffey Jr. Then we have the Dubsy Seal Slingers, which I kept saying swingers. And I think also, Kenny, I'm right there with you. Swingers is less gruesome and just makes more sense. But when I went to go grab some images for this stream and do some more research for this stream, so I knew what the heck I was talking about on this stream, because last stream I did not. Dubsy Seal Slingers is actually what it is, not swingers, it's slingers. And as you can see, the orca has got the seal and and ready to use the seal as a bat by the looks of it to me. Swinging it like a bat, right? So, but no, he's ready to sling it like a seal. I don't know. Anyway, the seal looks like he's into it, and it's supposed to be a Tom and Jerry type relationship between the orca and the seal. Now, I can only assume that if the Dubsy Seal Slingers is the winner, the mascot will be an orca, and then they'll probably have another smaller, a kid playing the seal. Because it seems like there would be two mascots, right? I mean, with the Seal Slingers. Maybe not. Either way, I wouldn't want to be the mascot in the orca costume, because that looks like it would be a pain in the arse to maneuver around in. But Dubsy Fishsticks, that to me seems like a way easier mascot costume to maneuver around in. However, there would only be one person, which maybe actually is better for a mascot anyway, rather than having a duo of mascots. Yeah. So the Seal Swingers can now be a polyamorous social club. That's true. That is very, very true. So yeah, so those were the two logos that that we're voting over. And as I wrote things and stuff down. So those team, or that team, which is currently known as the what are they known as? The Highline Bears, which anyway, the Highline Bears is what they're known as now. They are part of what's known as the Collegiate Pacific International League, which is the summer collegiate baseball, which is one of the summer collegiate baseball leagues that is overseen by the National Baseball Congress. And they work under minor league rules. They are not paid for their games because all of the athletes are still under NCAA rules or whatever, and so eligibility or whatever. So these are all college kids on summer break, college baseball players on summer breaks that are playing in these leagues. They travel. There's actually leagues all over the country. Actually, there's leagues in Canada too that are part of this whole thing. But the Seattle Pacific International League only has like, I think 5 teams in it, and that's the Seattle Shaney Studs, the Everett Merchants, the Redmond Dudes, the Northwest Honkers, and then the Highline Bears. So, which the Highline Bears will eventually be the Dub C Fishsticks or the Dub C Seal Slingers. So yeah. The names for some of these teams are very odd. And then the names for some of these teams are very regular. The Portland team for their Portland's version of this team, or their team in this league or whatever it is the Portland Pickles. So the Fishsticks doesn't really seem that out of line, frankly. I mean, it seems weird, but it doesn't seem that out of line. So let's see here. Looks like Michael Anthony Smith has got to go. So awesome. We will definitely see you shortly, I hope. And yeah, Kenny, the the grumpy old orca wants to swing that seal for being too happy. That's exactly what it looks like. See, Elaine, Elaine says, that is cutesy, but actually gruesome origins. Are the seal supporters okay with it? Honestly, dude, seriously, that was one of my first thoughts when I saw the logo, or actually not even when I saw the logo and I read what it was. It was just like, I don't see how this is going to go over well with a lot of people. Like, this is not an okay name. And so, how does it go over well? Well, gosh, I don't know, Elaine. It's not officially the name yet, although after the first day of voting, it was a 52 to 48% split in favor of the Seal Slingers. But apparently, this vote has gotten worldwide attention. Like, people in England are voting, people in Africa are voting. Now, I can only assume, and I definitely don't know this, but I can only assume that people in England are voting for the Fishsticks. But, that's just, it's just my presumption, not preposition. And, yeah, Seattle really does have a thing for sea life, Andre. And one of the, suggestions for this team that they didn't go with. Actually, they had 2 suggestions that they liked but chose not to go with. The fighting caviar. I'm sorry, dudes. That's dumb. I mean, what? First off, we don't catch sturgeon. Well, okay, actually, we're not supposed to be able to catch sturgeon in this part of Washington. I mean, in the lakes and stuff, and not in the Puget Sound. There's plenty sturgeon further up the Columbia River. Sturgeon is very populous in Washington state waters, but not anywhere near Seattle. Not anywhere near Seattle, except for maybe the occasional one that's like in Lake Washington that got released. That's not supposed to be there. They're not native to our local waters. So fighting caviar seems stupid. And then the other one was the sea chickens. And it's just like, why would we want to be the sea chickens? Really? The sea chickens? That's just, First off, sea chickens are lobsters, and we don't have lobsters around here. So why would you want to? It doesn't make any sense. So to me, the fish sticks or the orcas are a much more logical choice. We do have a lot of seafood processing plants in the Seattle area, so the fish sticks is oddly enough. I actually pass 2 fish stick processing plants on my way to work every day. So it it is like a very legit local thing. Yeah. So, let's see here. Oh, yum, Chris, you got some Portuguese sausage hot dogs, relaxing and watching, yep, watching the statter box, shadow with statter here. Oh, you guys, you're making me jealous. You guys actually have like real thought out dinners and stuff. Stuffed peppers. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I've never had a Portuguese sausage on a bun either. And yeah, Kenny Casey, the honkers, you're gonna take the high road and leave that one alone. I tried to figure out I went a little bit down a rabbit hole trying to figure out what the flying fork that was in reference to. I can only assume geese, but honestly, I have no idea. So yeah, we'll just assume they mean geese. Yeah, the old San Francisco baseball team was known as the Seals. Yeah, well, apparently the Orcas up here, we want to swing them. Or no, sling them. Ugh, whatever. Hey, Michael Anthony Smith, good to see you. Excellent. Glad you're back. No, the English are not voting for bangers and mash. We don't have that in our Pacific League yet. But that bangers and mash, though, might not be the worst league name. You could be a potato swinging a sausage as the baseball bat. Why not, right? Let's see here. What about the Seattle salmon eaters? Well, I mean, that's pretty much all of us, isn't it? That's not just the orcas. That's all of us here. Yeah, Darlene, who gets to suggest these team names? They put out the suggestions earlier this year, and it was heavily promoted, I think, through schools, which is why we ended up with a lot of weird options. And last stream, I believe I said they ended up with 500 submissions. Nay, only 200. They only had 200 that they weeded out the top 2. So yeah, that's and I don't know where all of the votes did come from. I just do know that that it was, according to an article, actually I don't know anything, but according to the article that I read, the schools were where a lot of these suggestions came from. So there you go. And let's see here. Oh, Shock, you passed a huge flock of cobra chickens yesterday, but went unattacked. Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah, no, well, okay, Kenny Casey, right. Is the honkers geese, car horns, something else? We need to see a logo, honkers. You know what their logo is? It's a big H. It's just an H. It doesn't tell you. Like I said, I kind of went down a rabbit hole, and yeah, it's just an H. Doesn't tell me diddly squat. Doesn't tell you diddly squat. Andre, sea chickens, you thought they were seagulls? Honestly, they could be. I've never even heard the term sea chicken until my last stream, when I think it was Jen pointed out that she mentioned sea chickens and I didn't know what she was talking about. But then when I went and read an article about the naming, how they came across the 2 names that we're voting on, sea chickens was one of the options. So I'm assuming that's what she was referencing. And so then I was like, well, what the heck is a sea chicken? So then I was, went and looked that up, and nowhere did they say seagulls were sea chickens, but that totally makes sense. But they did say that sea chickens were lobsters, just because lobsters are so prolific. They're sort of like chickens of the sea, despite the whole tuna thing. Yeah, so I don't really know. All I know is I don't think that any team should be called the Sea Chickens, because I mean, okay. I know that this is an odd thing for me to say because I'm voting for the Fishsticks, but how is anybody going to take a chicken team seriously? All right, well, I'm inconsistent. If nothing else, I'm inconsistent. How are they going to take a chicken team seriously? How are they going to take a Fishsticks team seriously? Whatever. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, actually the Seattle Salmon Tossers is yeah, would be a good one because everybody, that is so iconic. Everybody knows about the fish tossing in the Seattle Pike Place Market, which by the way, if for whatever reason you decide to go pay that much for your flippin' fish so you can see it thrown, don't, because throwing the fish actually damages it. Don't let them throw your fish. Let's see. I'm not gonna go off on that, but don't let them throw your fish. So Kenny Casey, how about the Seattle Rockers? A lot of good rock came out of Seattle. Yeah, actually a lot of music industry folk came out of Seattle, even way before even before rock and roll, as it were. But no, I don't think that that's gonna I don't think that that's gonna fly. I think honestly, really think the Statterbox came up with the best Seattle name ever, and it's the Seattle Freeze. It, how that hasn't been picked up, I just don't know. So, and yeah, Darlene, you're right, Andre, that's funny. I don't think it would go over there because the hippies would totally take offense. Yeah, exactly. The Seattle fighting hippies. Yeah, exactly. Uh-huh. So, yeah, actually, Elaine, so salmon is one of my favorite fishies too, even though in Hawaii there's so many great fishies. I have been wondering this. So, Lomi Lomi salmon in Hawaii, like what fish do they use? Because, I mean, my understanding of fish that is called salmon are fish that start out in freshwater and then go into saltwater and then come back to freshwater to breed. And consequently, the salmon that we have on the West Coast are different than the salmon on the Atlantic coast. And what is the salmon that is in Hawaii? Like that's because I didn't think that there was any freshwater, saltwater, freshwater fish in Hawaii. I thought that there was like the freshwater fish, and then there's like the brackish-ish sort of, and then of course there's the ocean water. But like I didn't know of any. I'm unfamiliar of any fish in Hawaii that goes to the ocean and then comes back up the stream that it came out of to lay its eggs. But I'm not that familiar with the fish in Hawaii, so I'll be the first to admit, as per the usual, I don't know what I'm talking about, which is why I'm asking you guys. Yeah, what is the salmon in what is the salmon in Hawaii? Andre, the Seattle overcaffeinated hipsters. I don't know. See, that actually, while I can appreciate your logic, I'm not so sure that that's a good team name because that's not very Seattle specific. That team name could be San Francisco. That team name could be Austin. I've been to both those places, and let me tell you, the overcaffeinated pretentiousness of both those cities is on par with what I experience in Seattle. In fact, Austin, I couldn't believe. When I went to Austin, I had a whole new appreciation for how flipping obnoxious Seattle must be to people who come to Seattle. I mean, they are, I say, as I'm pointing three fingers back to myself, they are so like, oh, if you're not from here, you just not even worth talking to. Oh, you are just not even, they're so flipping pretentious. And they reminded me so much of, well, the Seattle Freeze. Yeah, I guess, now that I think about it, the Seattle Freeze happens in more than just Seattle. We were just the first and got it named after us, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, right, exactly. Any team with chickens in the name would be their what's for dinner. Precisely, yeah. So, oh, yeah, Elaine, oh my goodness. Salmon and halibut are two fishes that better not ever be fried because they will dry out so quickly and it gets tough, it gets chewy, it gets almost gamey. No, it's just, yeah, yeah, you can't have salmon fried nor halibut. And it's so funny too, because when you go to fish and chip places, they will charge you extra for halibut fish and chips. They will charge you extra for salmon fish and chips. Don't fall for it, dude. It's not good. That is not how those fish are intended to be prepared. Get the cod, get the whatever it is, get the, I don't get whatever, just don't get the halibut or the salmon fried fish. It is disgusting and gross. It's dry, it's chewy. Elaine knows exactly what she's talking about. So yeah, there we go. So medium 7 up. As a warm climate, Hawaiian waters do not have salmon. Ancient Hawaiians also did not have tomatoes or onions. Neither did their Polynesian ancestors. Well, right. Okay. I know. I don't doubt that. And I'm not suggesting that Lomi Lomi salmon is of ancient origin, but what fish is used? I guess what my question is, what fish do they use in Lomi Lomi salmon? Because since it's eaten raw, I can only assume it's a local fish that is very fresh, because I know that they can't possibly be importing Pacific Northwest salmon for their Lomi Lomi salmon. So yeah. So let's see here. Oh, wait, hold on. All right. I guess I spoke too soon. Medium 7 up continues. We can thank the Canadians, specifically the Hudson's Bay Company. This company had its headquarters in the Pacific Northwest during the 1800s. The company decided to open a branch office in Hawaii. Hold on. And when it did, it began marketing its two most important products from Canada, timber and salmon. Yeah, no, I knew you were just copying and pasting medium 7 up, but still though, dropping the knowledge is good. So Chris, you're saying Chinook? Okay, so let's see here. And okay, so Elaine says, oh, so it really is salmon from the Northwest. I had no idea, you guys. So Elaine says they use raw salmon that was probably thawed. Lomi lomi means rubbed and massaged. It's a reference to the process of the dish. We do not have salmon in Hawaii except for the salted cured salmon from the north. So is it the salted cured salmon they use in Lomi Lomi? Or is it a frozen fillet? And yeah, Kenny, definitely ask what kind of fish are there, but it sounds like salmon that they use in Lomi Lomi salmon is actually what comes from my neck of the woods. So that's interesting. I had no idea. Google does say it's imported from the northwest coast of America. I had no idea. I had no idea. I truly thought that it was a local fish, and I consequently I did wonder why in the flying fork are they referring to this as salmon. So okay, awesome. There we go. Who knew? I sure didn't. So so it is fresh salmon that is salted. Okay. Wow. All right. That's good to know. Fantastic. I wonder what type of salmon it is. I'm sure it's not sockeye. Sockeye is way too expensive. Sockeye is way too expensive. So yeah, I wonder what kind of salmon it is. Yeah, actually, does Google say what kind of salmon it is? So yeah, Hawaiian pizza was invented in Canada, so why not salmon from Canada? You guys, speaking of Hawaiian pizza invented in Canada. All right, so I don't know if my coworker is here. They said they were going to be watching this stream, but I have not seen them show face in the chat. So my coworker, who happens to live in Canada, but they remote stream into work, they the other day, I think the last day of, well, it doesn't matter, last week, I was asking them, well, what are you doing? And they're like, yeah, I'm making Hawaiian chicken chili for dinner tonight. And I said, what on earth is Hawaiian chicken chili? Because nothing about chili is either chicken nor Hawaiian. So what? And so they show me this bag of beans and seasoning that basically it's beans, seasonings. They did not tell me what kind. and it doesn't really matter. Beans, seasoning, chicken, and a can of crushed pineapple. That is Hawaiian chicken chili. I said to them, I don't know if any Hawaiians would appreciate that. I don't know if any Hawaiians would eat that. And yeah, no. Kenny, speaking of chili, does Zippy's chili have beans in it? Yes and no. I haven't had it, but I did do a lookup on the interwebs, and it looks like they have both versions, both with beans and without, and it looks like they're both basically the same sort of chili, only one's with beans, one's without. I prefer without. I adhere to the Texas chili standards, Texas chili competition standards, which is chili should not have beans at all. And well, I am one of the few people on earth, at least in the Pacific Northwest, who agrees with that. But that's where I will. It's a hill I will die on, shall we say? So yeah, no beans in chili. Period. I know, right? Medium 7-Up? No, 9 times over, no. And I know that you didn't mean to press that 9, but it still is perfect. No. I know, right? I mean, pineapple in your chili. What? Yes, shock. It is an abomination before God. Abso-flippin-lutely. And so I had to laugh. I was just like, right, Kenny, that doesn't sound very Hawaiian or like good chili. You guys are on the same page as I am, like nobody's business. And I told him, I was like, I don't know. And their response was, that's why, and it's true, they did. They're all, that's why when I wrote Hawaiian chicken chili, I didn't capitalize the H. And I was like, okay, there you go. So it's Hawaiian lowercase h, like as far from Hawaii as you can be. Basically because it had pineapple in it, suddenly it was Hawaiian. But honestly, I don't care what spices you have. Chicken stock, I presume, beans, and some sort of flavoring seasonings and pineapple. Kill me now. Like I guess I wouldn't rather starve, but well, I'd think about it. I mean, who thought that sounded like, well, obviously my coworker thought it sounded like a good combination because they were making it for dinner. And now here I am pointing and laughing them online, and I hope that maybe they aren't watching, even though I was hoping they would tune in. Maybe now I'm hoping they won't. So, let's see. Shock got Colorado chili from El Puente this evening. No beans, spicy. See, precisely. Now, I'm going to be a little bit controversial. When it comes to green chilies versus red chilies, I do prefer green over red. But obviously, when we're talking about beef chili, we're talking about red chili sauce, and that's just how that works. There's no arguing there. So, yes, Andre, in Canada, they do sell milk in plastic bags. So very weird. Yeah. Let's see here. Darlene, right, to each their own, beans or no beans, but definitely no pineapple. Yeah, and see, Darlene, actually, I can appreciate that logic, and I just wish that more places would treat chili beans as sort of an add-on as opposed to an, oh no, it's in. Like my mom, whenever she made chili, she knew that I would spend half the dinner picking out the red kidney beans just so I wouldn't eat them, because the kidney beans were so powdery and the skins were so tough, just gross. I never understood why she just didn't cook the beans separately and then add them to the dish for everybody else who wanted them. But, I don't know. I mean, I guess that was a very self-centered point of view. I'm not going to argue that. But I do know that a lot of restaurants do prepare their chili without the beans in it. And then if you want beans, they'll add the beans later because. So, let's see here. Oh, Michael Anthony Smith, your feed is messing up. Yeah, well, maybe do a restart or something. If not, I hope to see you next Thursday. Actually, I hope to see you on Tuesday on the Daily Pigeon with Andy. And if I don't see you there, then I hope to see you, on Thursday here again in the Statterbox. And let's see here. You nearly got divorced when your husband put wine in chili. You know, I'm gonna have mixed feelings about that. Depends on the wine. I mean, first off, it better have been red wine. If it wasn't, then I'm right there with you. Get the divorce papers. But yeah, I can see your logic. But people put funny things in chili. I mean, people put chocolate in chili, and apparently it's actually good, which makes sense, mole and everything. But um, uh, the wine maybe depends on the variety. So, let's see here. So, okay, so Elaine is laying down some knowledge on the Lomi Lomi salmon. All right, so the diced salted salmon is soaked to remove some of the salt and thaw it. It's gently massaged to help it along, then drained, and then it goes together with all the veggies. Yeah, no, it sounds good actually. I just always wondered because here's the deal. I knew it couldn't be salmon. Uh-huh. Shows how much I know. So there you go. Yeah, chili verde is actually kind of my preferred. I make a really crummy chili verde. I mean, like probably some of the worst in the world, but yeah, chili verde is actually my preference. Wish I could make it, but yeah, no. Um, so let's see here. And you got pineapple, Chris. Clean the plate. There you go. Rick, you make a good vegetarian 15 bean chili. It's easy. A bag of 15 types of beans and two and two. Rick, you're terrible. I have a lot of vegetarian friends, and so for them, I'm doing this. Rick, am I going to have to get the Prel? Okay, now, are the vegetarian friends out of the room? Rick, that's hysterical. Okay, so Rick says, Rick says, I make a good vegetarian 15 bean chili. It's easy. It's a bag of 15 types of beans and 2 pounds of ground beef. Yeah, there you go. I didn't really even realize there were 15 types of beans. Actually, that's not true. I know there's lots, but I don't know much about beans. I know beans about beans. Let's see here. Uh, so Andre, man, I had a nightmare in New York City in the 80s when I ordered the California burger as a kid. It had avocado, pineapple, and sprouts. Yeah, yep, that doesn't surprise me at all, actually. I'm kind of surprised about the pineapple, but at the same time, not so much. But avocado is definitely like anything that's California, whatever, usually has some of that avocado. And I'm not really a fan of avocado. Never have been. Darlene, yeah, you've heard of people adding cocoa in their chili recipes and even cinnamon. I'm not surprised about the cinnamon at all, actually. In fact, um, there's a pizza place in White Center called White Center Pizza and Pasta, and their red sauce for both their pizzas and their pasta is actually a Greek style red sauce, and it has the tiniest bit of cinnamon in it. I mean, just the littlest bit. I normally don't like cinnamon in a lot of savory stuff, but I'll tell you what, that little added bit in the red sauce really rounds out the flavor. It's really good. So I'm not surprised at all that people might do that to just add a little more depth to the level of spice profile in the chili. Because chili has so many different chilies and other spices to flavor it. Cinnamon could easily, used properly, cinnamon could easily just create a nice blend as opposed to overpowering the way it can in a lot of other things. So, well, now, Shock, you bring up a good point. Rick, your vegetarian chili, it's not made with real vegetarians. That's too bad. I mean, you kind of have to locally source them too, don't you? Um, yeah, Andre Coco does come from Mexico, so why not in Chile? Well, precisely, and mole, oh, excuse me, mole, that's exactly what creates a good mole paste is the cocoa with the chili beans, or not the chili beans, the chili peppers, the dried chilies, the chili powder. All right, Chris. Yeah, you might as well head to sleep. Don't want to deprive yourself because you got to get a good night's rest for your trip. I'm guessing you're probably going to be heading back to the West Coast eventually soon because you're already almost on the East Coast there in Alabama. So yeah, you go moi moi. We'll catch you later. Yeah, and well, yeah, actually, Andre, you bring a good point. Chocolate and chilies are good. In fact, Mexican style hot chocolate sometimes has a little bit of a spice profile. I know that a lot of people, myself included, assumed wrongly that Mexican chocolate was just chocolate and cinnamon, which I love. Oh God, it's my favorite thing. But apparently, no, it's not always just that. Some people, when they sell you Mexican chocolate, it's actually chocolate with cinnamon and chili spices in it, and it's like kind of hot. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the chilies and chocolate is a drink that people drink. So so there you go. Yeah, Shock, exactly. Come sit next to me when we're having avocado and you can have all my avocado. That's yeah, when I say I don't like something, it's not like I'm putting judgment on people who like it. I'm just saying, "Hey, come sit next to me. You can have mine." 'Cause I don't want it. Yeah, your definition of vegetarian is very liberal, Rick. Yes, I see. I see. Um Right, yeah, Elaine, exactly. You ate some chili and it had cocoa and cinnamon in it. It tasted just right, but you tried it and you just, yeah. I'd be willing to bet that those are two things that, like, you really need to be sparing with them, but when done just right, they round out that flavor, um, that, the spice profile, for sure. Um, Shock, locally sourced only if you want capital letters in your chili's name. There you go, exactly. Exactly. Well, Andre, the Seattle Fighting Vegans, that's almost as bad as the Seattle Sea Chickens. I mean, who's going to be afraid of that, I mean, I know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I know that plenty of strong mixed martial arts people and other people have phenomenal diets that are plant-based only and that consider themselves vegan, but it's still fun to make fun of them. Yeah. Let's see here. Andre, you bring up a good point. A very good point. Vanilla is also from Mexico, but I don't think it would be good in chili. No, I don't think so either. I don't think so either. You know what's really funny? I was surprised to learn this, and definitely fact check me on this, but I do know that I heard this. They told me this. Um the most expensive, and I think this is verifiable, the most expensive spice in the world is saffron, and I have no idea how much it costs per pound, but it's a lot. And everybody I think knows saffron's super expensive. But the second most expensive spice in the world, vanilla. Like, what? Everything is flavored vanilla. How could that be the second most expensive spice? You only need a little bit, obviously, and it goes a long way. But apparently, please fact check me on this, please. Vanilla is the second most expensive spice in the world. Who knew? I don't know if I know, but I think I know. I think. So there you go. So Tazo chili chocolate for making hot chocolate, and it's more like the way original was made, but it has sugar. Yeah, I've had something very similar to that, and it's really good if if it didn't hurt my mouth. The flavor profile is good. It's just I don't like a lot of spicy stuff because it hurts to eat it. So I don't like it. But like the flavor profile is good. Like here's the deal with a jalapeno. You can sort of get jalapenos that aren't very spicy, like even by my standards, but I don't like jalapeno because I don't like the flavor. Like I actually don't like the flavor of that pepper. And then it also sometimes is spicy, so there's like a double reason why I don't like it. But some of the chilies, the flavor's not so bad. It's just the pain from the eating of the flavor. So, yeah, I some chilies, not jalapeno, and chocolate together, if it didn't hurt me, I would be super down with. Um, oh, interesting, Andre. I knew that saffron was hand pollinated because how else are you going to pick the stigmas off of the crocus buds? But I didn't know that that vanilla had to be hand pollinated. So yes, there we go. So yeah, okay. So it looks like my vanilla hypothesis is semi true-ish, people are saying. But whether or not the hard numbers really support my statement is we have yet to have that confirmation. Um, so Pualani 609 local, yes, chilies and Mexican hot chocolate, but I can't eat spicy foods. I take my hot chocolate straight up. Yep, there you go. You know, one of the best ways for that I've found to make homemade hot chocolate is, you heat up the milk. Okay, first off, we all know that we're not using instant hot chocolate with water, right? 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 Right. All right. Now that we've cleared that up, you heat your milk and then, you put your cocoa, or whatever, but you put it in, a jar or, a milk jug that you can seal up, and then you shake it. And you shake it and you shake it and you shake it. Now you're going to need to leave yourself a lot of air room, in the jar or whatever, but basically don't stir it. It's nothing. You need to shake it. And when you shake it and then you pour it and it tastes exactly like the kind of hot chocolate you get from restaurants, with the little mug and the kind that comes out of the machine, which to me, that kind of hot chocolate is superior. And you know what? I'm sure that kind of hot chocolate is probably made with water. I don't know. I don't know why. I just like the stuff at the restaurant. But at home, no can use the water because this is gross. So you use hot milk with the powder, shake it, shake it, shake it. Yeah, like a Polaroid. And then you pour it in your cup and be careful. I mean, first off, you're going to need to use heat proof, whatever, while you're shaking it, because your jar's going to get super hot. And then be careful when you open it, because there's going to be a ton of steam explosion. Like there's going to be all kind of vacuum sealed because you've done stuff, and there's physics involved with temperatures that I know nothing about. But here's a little bit of it. It's going to go, when you open the jar, it's going to have a pop, and it's going to go shoosh with the steam, and you're not going to want your face there because it's going to hurt. And then you're going to pour it in your cup, and you're going to drink it, and you're going to be like, yeah, that's good stuff. Okay, so Shock, all right, yours, make it with shaved chocolate and heavy cream and then add super hot water so it's not just glop. That's acceptable too. I have never done it with shaved chocolate or heavy cream. I'm going to have to try that. Yes, Darlene, exactly. A canning jar is good for that shaking. Precisely. See, you guys, we're all on the same page. I'm so glad we know this. Yeah, I'm just talking about get your Ghirardelli's powdered cocoa or whatever, the sweetened kind. That's what I'm talking about. And it oftentimes, the stuff says you can use either milk or water. And it's like, no, you cannot use water. Don't even come up with that. That's just silly. Welder's gloves are best for that shaking. Seriously. I've just used towels, and, the of gloves probably would work too. All I can tell you though is, you want to have a heat-proof something, and you want to have a good, grip on the jar. Because last thing you want to do is go shaking your jar of hot molten chocolate liquid, have it slip, and then you've got steaming liquids flying everywhere amongst your glass shards on your kitchen floor, and it's sticky. No, you don't want that. So hold tight, heat-proof gloves, open it away from. Treat it like a champagne bottle when you're opening it, is what I'm trying to say. Shock. Okay, you don't know what a ganache is? A ganache is basically chocolate, beautiful heaven. No, ganache is basically melted chocolate that has been semi-liquefied with heavy cream or milk. So basically, for the most part, what you're making for hot chocolate is a ganache until you then add the water to thin it out, and it's then basically it's just like drinking liquid chocolate at that point, which is why it sounds really, really good. But ganache, pretty much you just you heat your heavy cream, you add your chocolate, you whisk it all together until it's like pudding, like or thicker than pudding, almost a frosting. And then you can add a little bit of milk to give it a gloss, but it's ganache. It's the trust me, you know what ganache is, even though you don't know what ganache is. You've eaten it plenty time. Yeah, Andre. Yep, it's a glaze, icing, sauce, or filling for pastries made from chocolate and cream. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so here actually a ganache would be, if you've ever had a truffle, not the real truffles that you roll that look like the mushrooms, but like the chocolate covered truffles, the stuff that's in the middle, that's a ganache. Yeah. So, let's see here. Cool. All right. Yeah. So hot chocolate. All right. I like that we're talking about the hot chocolate. Yum, yum, yum. I know, right, Andre? It's just like, wow, I know something trivial that Shock does not know about. I know, right? I mean, it's just like, I thought that Shock knew everything that didn't matter, just like me. Let's see here. Shock says, Andre, I don't know lots, particularly don't know anything about highfalutin food like arugula, ganache, or truffles. Oh, fair enough. You have reasons for not knowing about the ganache and the truffles. I'll give you that. Arugula, you're better off not knowing. You're better off not knowing about arugula. But you know what's even better for you not knowing about? Endive. Endive. I don't know how to say it. But apparently, it is the most bitter vegetable in the world ever. And one of my friends grew one this year, and she was so proud of herself. And then she ate it, and she was just like, why did I do that? Like, what, why did I do that? So yeah, there you go. Oh, Darlene. And then add a delicious brownie to your hot cocoa. Okay, I can do that. Tell me what to do more often, because I can do that. I absolutely can do that. Oh, really? Is that what rocket is, Andre? Andre tells us that arugula is called rocket in England, and I think rocket is way better of a name than arugula. It kind of prepares your mouth for what that thing is going to do to your tongue. It's a little bit bitter, a little bit spicy, a little bit, what is this lettuce that's not lettuce and I don't want it on my tongue anymore? Yeah, rocket. Yeah. Well, Shock, you know about aioli. It's basically mayonnaise. I mean, come on. Yes, technically it's a little bit different than mayonnaise, but it's basically mayonnaise. So yeah, you grew up with fish sticks and hot dogs, and honestly, in the right place, or the wrong place, however you want to phrase it, you would probably run across a fish sandwich that was dressed in tartar sauce, but they would say that it was house-made pickled aioli, and really it's tartar sauce. Yeah. I know, right, Shock? Is Darlene trying to break our heart up here? It's just like, yeah, come cook for me, Darlene. Come give me desserts. Yes, brownies to the hot chocolates. So, okay, Shock, right. Yeah, I know about aioli, but not really. Right, okay, I can appreciate that logic. Let's see here. Oh, and Andre, gosh, yeah, that's right. It is Belgian, Andre. I grew up with fish sticks and hot dogs too, but we also had arugula and Belgian endive because I had got immigrants in my family. Yeah, so the Belgian endive, back to that thing. Andre, how do you eat it? Like what? Like, because my friend she was just like, it's the most, I mean, she even blanched it, though, because I guess you're supposed to blanch it to help with the bitterness, but she was just like, no, it was too bitter for her to even eat. And then, so then she, she had her little experience. Then her teenage son came down to the kitchen, and her mom was like, or his mom was just like, so I know, this is the most bitter thing in the world that you will ever eat. Do you want to try it? And so he tried it, and then he spit it out, and he literally said to her, after she said to him, it's the most bitter thing in the world you will ever eat, he tries it, he spits it out and says, why didn't you prepare me for how bitter this was? Like, that's how bitter it was. So, all right, medium 7 up. You and Huma are going to be heading to bed. We will have a good night, hopefully. And, yeah, oh, shock. You're on vacation, so theoretically you can have hot chocolate and brownie, right? Except for I know, like, pain. Yes, that reminds me, Shock, I don't know if you're much of a Saturday Night Live watcher, but there was a skit last week on Saturday Night Live about all the old ladies in the club, or all the old women in the club, and there's a verse just about pretty much like what you just said, I can eat whatever I want, and then the consequences of such were shown later on in the skit. If you guys haven't seen it, you should go to YouTube, and I know you know how to get to YouTube because I think we're here, and YouTube search SNL ladies at the club or whatever, and seriously, anybody who's over the age of like 30, even dudes, seriously, just go watch this video. It's hysterical. It really is. Yeah, it's hysterical. Yeah, well, hey guys, this is a Sunday evening of laziness, and Miles and Huma are going to go to bed, and it is hitting about the 1.5 hour mark, so we might want to think about wrapping this up. That way we'll have more to chatter about later on. But yeah, no, Shock, you should in case you go resemble it too closely. Seriously, Shock, I think every woman over the age of 30 will resemble it too closely. And Kenny even saw it, and oh yeah, YouTube, huh? Shock, it's on YouTube. It'll be there. Don't even worry. In fact, I think I posted it on my Facebook page. And yeah, Kenny, you saw that video. You thought it was hilarious. It has nothing. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're a dude or a chick. And actually it probably doesn't matter how old you are either. I'd be willing to bet that, a 15-year-old kid would watch that video and think it was funny too, because, oh, look at all the old people falling asleep at the club. Because, that was part of the skit, was old people falling asleep at the club. Oh, Kenny, we've still got about 10 minutes, so don't you even worry. We're going to be here for a little bit longer. You don't have to get your shoes yet. So, oh, hey, Belly Bear. You're going to watch the replay. Just got home from an outing. Good. Well, today we talked a lot about, we talked a little about hot chocolate. We were talking about Lomi Lomi Salmon. And as it turns out, Lomi Lomi Salmon, even though it's a Hawaiian dish, they use salmon from the Pacific Northwest. They don't use local fish. I always thought they used a local fish for Lomi Lomi Salmon. And I was always confused about how and why it was called salmon. But no, it really is. It really is salmon, and it's from the Pacific Northwest. Who knew? Well, somebody must have known. Wasn't me, though. Oh, Elaine, just a few more minutes, please. Okay. Oh, neat, Shock. When we're done here, you get to go into the cold room. Yikes. So you're going to be heading back home, though, tomorrow, right? So you can get your toesies warm. Well, I suppose you can go to the car if you really need to get your toesies warm. Well, Andre, you know what? Now the young kids fall out in the club because of fentanyl. Yeah, I suppose. But, back in my day, River Phoenix died in front of the club because of, it's like, this is really nothing new. I guess I shouldn't laugh at all that, should I? But, people been OD'ing at the club since clubs been around. That's nothing new. So, yeah. Kenny Casey, the ladies in the club video perfectly exemplifies why I don't hit the dance halls anymore. Honestly, Kenny, the ladies in the club video perfectly exemplify why that type of club scene was never my scene. Like, I went to rock shows. I hung out at dive bars, but that whole nightclub, dance club, whateverness with the booths and the VIP lounge and the that was never my scene at all. I mean, mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. So yeah, your toesy woesies are suffering. I bet you they are. I as a general rule of thumb, I don't like socks because I consider them a burden to my feet. But there comes a point where my toesies start to suffer so much that even the burden to my feet is worth it. In fact, right now, I have a burden to my feet. They're socks. They're cozy socks. So, E.T., now you're craving sushi salmon. That's funny. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I've ever had sushi salmon. I mean, I've had like the tuna and stuff, but I don't know. I honestly can say I don't know if I've ever had sushi salmon. So, yeah, so there you go. Really, Andre, you did find out that Israeli Mossad tried to assassinate a guy with fentanyl back in 92, but they messed up and the guy did not die. Dude, like, people accidentally die by being near fentanyl. How did they mess that up? I mean, okay, first off, that's not funny. They tried to kill somebody. But seriously, dude, they couldn't even kill somebody with fentanyl. I mean, honestly, I thought the Mossad was a little bit better at what they did than that. That okay, we're venturing very close to politics here, but that actually really makes me laugh. I guess it's because I have a dark sense of humor, but seriously, Mossad is so useless they couldn't even kill somebody with fentanyl. I mean, since when is that a phrase you'd think you'd say? All right, we're gonna not talk about that. Yeah, all right. I don't know why that makes me laugh the way it does. Yeah, there we go. Let's see here. Um, so yeah, Darlene, I agree. Shock. Once you get home, soak up in the warm water and hopefully well, can you stream from the soaking tub? I mean, we don't have, when the movie's on, it's not like we have to see you. I mean, it's half of the reason why I love Statterbox at the cinema is because I'm not on the camera and I can go. In fact, last night I went and made a bowl of popcorn to watch The Goonies with because it needed popcorn and well, then I didn't get to make popcorn. Oh, no, that's not right. I think I made it during the Bewitched. No, I made it during Bewitched because I didn't have time because the Goonies kept messing up. So yeah, I actually made a bowl of popcorn during the movie stream. So you could totally soak in a warm tub and watch The President's Analyst as long as you don't drop your laptop in the bathtub, right? Oh, there you go. Good plan. Yes, the fire. You better watch the fire. Shock. You're making the very responsible choice. The fire better be watched. So yeah, you better stay in that warmer room with the fire. Yep. Yep. Yeah. No. Yeah. Et or Elaine. I know exactly what it looks like. Well, it looks like basically looks like sushi. But now, okay. So Elaine, you say that it's raw salmon on sushi rice with a dab of wasabi, dip in soy sauce with wasabi and pickled ginger. Ooh, so onalicious. Now, Elaine, here's my question to you. When you dip your sushi in the soy sauce, do you dip it fish side or rice side into the soy sauce? Because apparently you're supposed to do it one way and not the other. And I'm just wondering if A, you guys know that, and B, how do you do it? So there. Belly Bear, try popcorn with furikake. Yes, it is good. And it is and it isn't good, actually. So the furikake nomi, I think is what it is, or the nomi furikake, whatever. The regular, plain, ordinary stuff, the generic standard, as it were. Super good on popcorn. I've had it before, super tasty. But this one variety that I got that's got egg in it, and it's like it's a different mix of stuff. And it's way too sweet. And whatever that furikake is, I don't like that blend at all. I need to go get the furikake nome and or nomi or whatever it is. I know what it is that I'm looking for. Because the variety, the stuff that I got, because there's like a billion different varieties of the furikake, right? But the main one is what I like the best, and I ran out of it, and I was super bummed last night because I was gonna put furikake on my popcorn, and then I opened my fridge and was like, oh right, I only have this one, so I didn't. I just did butter and salt. Hmm. So, yes, you are totally correct. That is correct, Andre. You are supposed to dip on the fish side. Most people, though, dip on the rice side, and in America, you're gonna get away with doing that. But if you do that in Japan, the sushi chef might come out and take your flippin' plate away from you and just be like, "You don't even know how to eat this dish." So, yeah, it's you're not supposed to, because sushi, as I'm going to assume y'all know, sushi isn't what's on top. Sushi is the rice. And so, to be a sushi chef means that you've spent a lot of flipping time learning how to make this rice. Fancy that. I know a little bit about making rice, just a little bit. I'm not saying I'm a sushi person at all. But so much effort has been put into making the perfect rice that, and to flavor profile that rice, that to soak that rice with the soy sauce is actually like not okay. So yeah, Kenny, see, most people dip on the rice side. No, that's not the right way. Not at all. That's bad. I mean, first off, in the United States, it doesn't matter. You'll be fine. But if you ever do go to Japan, do not dip it on the rice side at all. You dip the fish side. Yep. So, oh, Elaine, you are all sorts of renegade here. So you dip the salmon, take the salmon slab off the rice, dip, soak in soy sauce mix, place the huge piece of ginger because I love ginger, then put the fish back on the rice and gobble the whole thing. Not the right way. Whew, yeah, babe, that would get you some side eye glances, but you already know that. You already know that. You do you, boo. You eat it the way you want to eat it, because in the US, it's all good. You're allowed. But don't pull that. Don't be pulling that in Japan, taking apart the sushi before you. Oh, no. You know that would not fly. All right. So we are hitting the 6 o'clock hour, and that is 1.5 hours. It has become very obvious that we need to wrap things up. I'm not going to mention why. I think we can all see why. So unfortunately, we are going to wind things up for the day, and I'm going to see you guys on Tuesday, hopefully at the Daily Pigeon Live. I'm going to see you guys hopefully Monday on Shock Stream for the President's Analyst. I'm going to see you guys hopefully on the Twitch pop-up whenever it is that I pop up. And I hope to see you next Thursday at Chatter with Statter here on YouTube, 4:30 p.m. West Coast time, 1:30 p.m. Hawaii time, 7:30 p.m. on the East Coast, and midnight 30 for those UK types. So we're winding this up, and we are going to be out of here soon, but first, Belly Bear, you only order sushi rolls with cooked seafood. It's rolled up, so I dip sideways. I'm right there with you, my friend. I'm not really a fan of the raw fish. It's definitely not my scene, so you and I could go out and eat sushi together all of the time. And on that note, we are going to wrap it up, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks so much for hanging out tonight. Good to see you all.